Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to episode 5 of Profit Philosophy. We have Aaron over here, the music marketing genius. And
Hello.
obviously, we've got the B2B GOAT, high ticket sales and marketing, Harleen, otherwise known as Rambo.
Yes, brother. How are you? How's everything been as you're continuing your stay out in India?
Oh, bro, India is crazy, bro. I'm having so much fun. Business is kind of like low key, going abroad, not really focusing on business too much. It's okay, but it could be a bit better. But
Yeah,
when I get back, best I'm cracking 50k months. I'm going to
yeah.
increase my price as well.
Full steam ahead. Sometimes you need that little rest to come back and then just to hit a whole new other level. We've just came off one of your community calls, and that was
Yeah.
something that actually links up with what I wanted to speak about today, which was how important it is on a weekly basis to jump on call with a group of your clients, not just them on their own,
Mm.
because the difference it makes to them feeling included in a community and the difference it'll actually make to the retention and how long they stay with you is crazy. Because I've dealt with a client in the past couple of weeks who we have got crazy growth for, but then he's also found a little dip in those clients that some of them came off. And he's been asking them why, and a few of them have said to him because of community. And it really shows you how important that is because they're still achieving their goals. You know, they're getting what they want out of the service to a degree, but they're not getting that community aspect, which is actually caused some of them to drop off. So that shows you how important it really is.
I mean, with me, like I didn't used to do group calls like that. To be fair, like for this new
Yeah,
offer or newish offer, until I just realized, like, bro, how does this person know that he's not my only client that I've somehow managed to trick to get on
yeah,
board, you know? But then obviously when I get a few people together, because like group calls, they don't need to. There was only like 7 people there.
yeah.
They don't
Literally.
need to be big. Like if you have a group call for like of 5 people, that's great, you know. But if you have a few more people there, it's cool, and you can like, everyone could bounce off each other, say hi to each other, and they can realize like maybe I'm not alone. Maybe there's other people here, and I'm not like being scammed or something, you know.
Yeah, literally, and it just reinforces a level of accountability as well. Because if you see other people smashing it, getting results, and like getting what they should get out of the service, then those people that sometimes say, "Oh, I've not got this, I've not got that," they don't have the finger to point at you because they've seen everyone else smashing it. So it takes a
Mhm.
lot of that away, and it pushes people to get even better results. From what I've found or seen.
I'm not gonna lie. I think I had this sounds kind of crazy for me to say, but I once had a client who before the group calls, they were super like, "Oh, this doesn't work. You're having me on, blah blah blah." Until he physically spoke to other people that I worked for, and immediately what happened was he was like, "Hmm, it does work. It's just
Yeah,
not working for me. So what am I doing wrong?" And then obviously now, like this, not now, but like at the time, that person then started to make changes to his funnel and to his ads and whatever was going wrong. And now, hopefully, I think he's doing okay. So there's that.
yeah.
It holds people more accountable, you know.
100%, and that's a very good point as well. And like people, it shows people that your service works. Because again, if you do keep it on a solo basis, if it's someone's first time, let's say working within a marketing agency or dealing with someone that's more of a mentor and does done with you stuff, if they are not um, getting the results that they feel like they should be getting, a lot of the time they will just point the finger at you. So if they are part of a community, if you've got a chat where people are consistently putting wins in, like you do, Harleen, then that's not you're not going to be able to point the finger because it crosses that out instantly. Um,
I've got a little thing. Like I think you know, just to brush on that win stuff.
yeah,
I like people people underestimate how important it is to celebrate the little things because I never used to celebrate
yeah,
anything at all. And do you want to know what happened to me? I got sad all the time. Like I was just sad all the time. Like I was the type of person that would listen to Juice WRLD all the time because I just refused to celebrate like myself, you know. So it's like I think,
XXX assassin.
bro, trust me, bro. But I think I think it's good to actually have like a place where you can celebrate even the little wins. Like if you sign on your first client, or if you've hit your retention goal. So let's say your average retention was 6 months, and now you've had a client that's stayed with you for a year now. Like that's an achievement because your retention is getting better. And like just little things like that, or even something smaller like my ads are live now. I just got my first booked call type of thing. Because
Literally.
I feel like if you have someone celebrating with you, you feel like it reinforces positive behavior within yourself to continue doing those right things.
Yeah, literally. And it's like, why not celebrate them? Like, obviously, don't celebrate them to the point where you start taking the foot off the gas. But
Yeah.
I think again, people sometimes mistake like the grind set and just business in general is something that you can't enjoy or like you can't have loads of fun doing when it's really the opposite. Like obviously there is a lot of stress and I do want to go into that about how when times are hard, you do need to just fucking thug it out. Like you really do. Like you
Yes,
do.
sir.
You need to just push through it. But it doesn't mean that when you do have those wins that you can't celebrate them. Like celebrate everything and allow that to push you further ahead even quicker and use it to continue your momentum.
Tell me about the. What do you mean? Like you had to thug something out? Because I think I know what
Right,
you're on about, but why don't you go into it,
right.
bro?
Using myself as a personal example, there was a curse put on my Meta ad account. Harleen is a witness for this. even even I got Meta verified, and even the support team didn't know how to do it. I had to go to a specialist team, and essentially, I didn't have access to remove an account from one business suite to then add it to the other, and it was just messing up all my ads, running ads for clients, etc. And that really did throw off my momentum because I really wanted to get this new set of ads running probably close to a month ago, if not maybe even earlier than that, to be perfectly honest. So I've really had to utilize my time elsewhere and not let it completely throw me off the ball. Now, have I felt my momentum drop a little bit in certain ways? Yes, but I've just used it to better myself in other ways. So I'm looking at bringing on a manager and someone to review content with other members of the team, so I can then delegate. And when the ads are running, I can put more time into sales calls, more time into scripting for clients, all that kind of stuff. So it's just about what you can do in the time that you have. And if you can't do something, you just need to work around it or do things that are going to better you in the meantime. Because a lot of people, and definitely me in the past, like as a kid and stuff like that, is someone that would maybe give up quite easy on things like that. But in
Hmm.
business, it's like no one, your competitors don't care, your clients don't care, no one cares about your excuses. So you just need to thug it out and keep moving, roll with the
One
punches.
thing, one thing that I would say as well is like when things get really, really hard, I
Yeah,
would probably just think like, okay, this is exactly where my competitors are giving up. So if I just refuse to give up right now, I win by default because there's no one at that stage where they haven't given up. So you've just won by default. So I
yeah,
would think of it that way as well. And another thing I would think of it as is this is for the people that are more spiritual. If times are getting tough because you are on the path to becoming someone more or greater, it's the universe that's doing you a favor because it is literally taking all the bad karma you may have built up in your own this current lifetime, if you believe in reincarnation, your past lifetimes, and putting it in front of you right now so you can quickly work through it to become the most highest abundant version of yourself. So those are like two different ways you can look at it, which enable you, not disable you, for success and where you want to get to. And trust me, it works because I made 25K in January and I'm 22 and I'm kind of stupid, to be honest. So
no, it's so true though. Like everyone asks and they pray to God for riches and they pray for their business to be successful, but you're then essentially praying to God for these problems because if you want a successful business, if you want lots of money, you need to get through things like this. So all of these things are what I believe tests,
mhm.
and you can't fall at them. You need to be the type of person to learn how to flourish under pressure, and if you can do that, you're going to be a multimillionaire in my eyes, especially in business.
Bro, speaking of pressure, like people get annoyed when they're like owed some money, like, oh, someone owes me 100 quid. Like as of right now, I am
Yeah.
owed. It's the 13th of February. I am owed probably like 6 to 10 grand.
Well,
But and it's like, is it stressful? A little bit, like a little bit, but it's like you don't really see it because my stress threshold is like a little bit higher. And speaking of stress threshold being higher, should I tell you about a time very recently I was insanely stressed?
Yeah, let's go into it.
Oh, I don't know if I told you this, but
I
bro,
don't know if you
I
have.
decided to change my Stripe email from the old
Right.
one to the new one. And
Yep.
what happened was they asked for verification. And because I'm in a different country, I couldn't open my account because I'm on airplane mode. And Stripe basically told me if you do not verify your details soon, we will close your account, which is like, I don't care, I'll make a new account. But
Yeah.
there's little they added this little thing to the end and they said we will also refund any single payment you've accepted since the beginning of your Stripe thing. So
What?
I don't know. So
Is
every
that in
payment
the
I've
terms and
collected,
conditions?
bro, it
What?
like I was so stressed because I was like, this is like tens of thousands of pounds
Yeah. What the fuck?
that would have just come out. I don't even have, to be honest with you, I don't have tens and tens and tens and tens of thousands of pounds in my bank account. So for my bank account to see minus like however much money, bro, oh my god, bro, oh
Yeah.
no.
That's
But
not
and
it's not
then
good.
like that, and then like when I did finally find a way to bypass that, my phone wouldn't load like the verification QR code, like to actually verify my
Yeah.
ID and my face and stuff. Luckily, my mother saved me. I took her phone, verified everything on her phone. I got the verification status back. All good, but holy crap, did that scare me?
Yeah, and it's just another example of like you don't know the problems you're going to face in business. You really don't. You just need to keep pushing, and not necessarily a problem, but like even right now, like it's late at night. Me and you are still getting the podcast in. I've still got
Bro.
ads to set up after this because thankfully it is now fixed. But
All glory
honestly,
to God.
yeah, hopefully I've not jinxed it. Honestly, touch wood, touch wood. But it's like a lot of people like going into business or starting off, or even people who've been doing it for years that aren't majorly successful yet. A big reason behind that is because they're not putting those extra hours in, and it's like this isn't a 9 to 5. No one advertises it as that for good reason because you need to be prepared to be working more than you're sleeping. Like you need to be prepared to get 2 hours sleep some nights and just push through and get that client work done because at the end of the day, you need to prioritize growth and your business. I know
Mm.
I'm saying about the grind set and not taking stuff too serious, but in terms of that stuff, you definitely do need to accept that there's a lot of work that needs to get put in, and the sooner you just do it, the quicker you're going to get to where you want to get to.
To be fair, like one thing I wanted to touch on as well was, you know, when you first get into the entrepreneurial space, excuse me,
Yeah,
people say location freedom, time freedom,
yeah,
financial freedom. Bro, let me say something for you guys. Location freedom doesn't exist because time zones still exist. It is currently, I'm in India right now. I'm here for a few more weeks. And it is, what's the time? It is 4 a.m. I'm on a podcast. I just did a group call. For everyone else back at home, it's like 4 p.m. Eastern or 9 p.m. UK time. Like it is so late over here, and I'm on calls and I've got to be up early. So location freedom, guys, does not exist. Do not fall for it. Another thing as well is people go into business thinking that they can like be a business owner and have people working under them. What they don't realize is that you can and you will, but in order for you to get to that point where you're not actually in the business, you are most likely going to have to work like 90-hour work weeks like it's nothing. Like I'm always on my phone, either on Slack answering questions, even if I'm out and about. You know, like even whilst I'm in India on holiday, I'm still working. You know, like not that I hate my work, I love this work. I also get paid quite a lot for it,
yeah,
but it's not like don't let people glamorize how amazing it is, because I promise you, like as amazing as it is, it's not what you think it is, if that makes sense.
yeah. 100%. It gets advertised as something very different with a lot of these people like putting courses out and doing stuff like that. Again, like you could be locationally free, but you're still going to have to work. Like to have a business where you physically have no time going into it. I mean, I would love to get an accurate percentage of like business owners where that's the case, but I would say it's less than 1% probably because like truly passive income, I would say doesn't really exist because you're always going to be putting some degree of time and effort into it. So if you're going into business solely to get like to spend no time on the business, you're starting for the wrong reasons.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I like to think of business as service. Like,
Yeah,
like I'm in business not for myself. I'm in business to make other people like more successful than I can ever be. You know,
yeah,
so like that is like the mindset you need to have. And also, one little thing, I recently spoke to someone, and they kind of shifted my perspective on confidence. They said, like, for example, for a lot of business owners, they get nervous when they get on sales calls, and
yeah.
to be honest, like, yeah, like when I was new, I used to feel scared charging $100 for my service at the time. You know, like I was so scared.
Yeah.
But then one perspective shift you can have to make yourself more confident is imagine getting on call with someone because you're serving them. Like if you have the mindset of service and like how can I best help this person,
Yeah.
you won't feel not confident because it's not about you. You know, so if you get on calls with people and you speak to clients, if you feel not confident, it's because you're making it about you when business is never really about you at all. It's always about the other person because they're the ones that need help.
Such a good point. And even that applies to like people doing group calls and stuff like that with their clients. Like an objection, or not necessarily an objection, but an issue I had with one of my clients is they were scared to do the weekly call. And it's like, that is because they were making it all about themselves. People are going to laugh at them. People are going to think this about them. And really, if you go into just, I'm going to do a presentation here and provide as much value as I can for my clients, what can go wrong there? Or if you're going on a sales call and you're genuinely selling a product that you know is going to benefit that person, what, like, where does the nervousness come from, or the stress? It doesn't. But it's literally, it's crazy how this perspective in your head can make you feel terrible or amazing. Like
Bro,
it's
for sure.
honestly,
Like it's
bro.
nuts. Like I think the whole manifestation stuff, this is where it comes from. Because it's like your state of mind really does impact the decisions you make, which then impacts the actions you take, which then impacts everything around you. You know? Like and it's like it's so insane because it's like if I in my head didn't feel inspired to start some sort of marketing business, I would not be here today. And that's only because I felt inspired at one point in time a few years back. You know? So I think people like don't underestimate like the feeling of your mind, like your state of mind. Do not underestimate it because it is so, so powerful.
Yeah, definitely. And one thing I actually saw from Andrew Tate, which was actually something beneficial, and it just logically made sense. Was why would you not tell yourself something that is only going to be beneficial towards yourself? Like even if it's a
Mm,
little bit delusional, why not give yourself that delusion so it's benefiting you? So it's like a fighter before he goes out, and he might be the underdog. If he's telling himself that he's going to get a first round knockout, like, and he fully believes it, the chances of him then going and doing that and winning the fight are so much more likely. Likewise, when you're going into a sales call, if you're going in there knowing that you are the man, knowing that the only person that can
help
serve
them.
this person and get them the goal that they want is you, then there can be no awkwardness, no nervousness, no stress. There can only be positive connotations from that.
Mm. I think one thing as well is if you go into like that confidence that you have, like you will never ever like it'll never not serve you unless obviously if you're an arrogant piece of shit, then
Yeah,
obviously
yeah.
it might not serve you too well. But if you have this like underlying confidence, like this unwavering self belief, like it will change the way you go about life. Like I promise you, like once I started believing in myself and what I do, my close rate went from like 7% to 67%.
Yeah, I mean that's probably a big bit of what Austin delivers in his program.
Yeah.
It's probably that self belief, because I can imagine even through me watching a few of his videos, it's like the self confidence oozes out of him, and it's not an arrogance. It's just like he knows he is the guy for selling, and there's so much evidence there for him now to just back it up. And it's like when he
Mm,
speaks, you just listen to what he's saying. Like I don't question it. Likewise with Hermosi, it's like if he says something about marketing, I just listen and take it on. There's no questioning of it. But
One
it's
thing I
basically,
would say though is like, like I made this mistake as well. To be honest with you, is I tried to how do I say this? I tried to teach people how to swim before I got in the swimming pool myself, and it's like that's so like it sounds stupid, but it's so easy to do. And like, here's something as well. The only reason I started getting clients for meta ads is because I showed everyone I am literally testing meta ads and I'm failing. Now it's finally working. I have proof I can do meta ads. And that's how I actually got my first client. And then I started booking in calls and I started closing calls. And I was like, hey, I'm good at sales too. And then I got a sales program and now I'm like even better at sales. So it all comes together, you know, but you can't teach something unless it's been proven and that you've done it yourself before, you know.
yeah, yeah. That is where with people probably a lot of the lack of confidence comes from, because it's like the evidence there for them to be confident that there's none. But that is where
Mm.
you do need to have this slight level of delusion to then get that piece of evidence, which is why I do think that's beneficial. One thing I wanted to touch on for all the loyal listeners and subscribers, we've just hit 2K plays in 25 days, 2K views, should I say, in 25 days, which is actually sick.
Let's
On
go.
Insta, we're on track to hit 10K views in a month, and maybe even more. And it just shows you that even with us starting something up completely fresh with not a lot of like starting up, like we didn't get loads of people to shout us out or nothing like that. We've just been posting consistently since we started. And think about all of the people that we've reached, put all of them into a room and imagine
Insane.
how busy that room is. Do you know what I'm saying? And imagine then selling to all of those people. So I just wanted to reinforce to anyone listening the power of not only short form but definitely long form content, as I feel like a lot of people aren't utilizing it properly. And it's like, you don't need to have a million subscribers, you can have 10 subscribers. It's like, it doesn't matter. In most cases those 10 subscribers are probably more invested in you than a lot of those million people that are followed to that other person. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's all about who those people are and what they're there for. And if you can reach people that are genuinely interested in what you're providing and even you as a person, then you're only going to benefit from that and be able to sell more.
But was it? It's insane because we haven't launched a single ad for Profit Philosophy.
Literally.
Like I think I want to touch on this as well. Is do not underestimate the inputs. Like so, we like every single week, me and Aaron jump on a podcast episode. We're on episode 5, 5 weeks running now, and we are putting out. We're trying to put out 1 to 2 clips per day on the podcast channel, plus our own content as well, which is near enough every day too. So like 100 pieces of content minimum each that we're putting out per month.
Literally.
And it's like with that profit philosophy with only 39, 40 followers at the time of this recording has reached close to 10,000 people, like accounts. Like to bigger creators, that's not a lot, but like just think like that's 10,000 people who have seen our faces on the podcast. And
Literally.
as we keep posting more content, as people see our faces more and more and more, every single time it's always like an exponential growth. So the fact that we're seeing some growth right now means that very, very soon, if we keep it up, keep the inputs going, it's going to go up.
Exactly. And everyone that's watching this is most likely in B2B marketing or some
Easily.
sort of sales or on something online where they're providing a service or selling a product. And it's like, you're not gunning for entertainment, really. Like, you're not trying to get 100,000 views. What you're trying to do is just provide value and reach the right people. So as you said, like, views wise, to some people it wouldn't be a lot, but to those people, more time, they're not really trying to sell to their audience. So if you can get a consistent group, let's say even building up to 1,000 people, a
Mm-hmm.
thousand people that are consistently tuned in to what you're doing is absolutely mental. Like, that is so much more than a majority of like everyone else on earth. Do you know what I mean? And if you can then sell to those people or create a community around that, you have got a crazy, crazy strong group of people that not only you can get money from, but you can actually make a huge impact on all of those people as well.
Bro, for sure. I think one of the mistakes that I made as well, and we've touched on this before, is when I was initially growing my following, and this is all organically, I wasn't intentional. like I did everything I could to talk about things I cared about, yes, but it wasn't intentional to what I actually wanted to do. And what I've started to switch up with now is like I refuse to care about the views that I get. I just want to talk about exactly what I'm up to and what I do. And I don't know, it feels a lot more fulfilling. And also, I feel like my page is becoming what I wanted it to become, which is like a nurturing tool. And so is this podcast, to be honest. So, yeah, the gig is up, guys. This podcast is a nurturing tool. Sorry.
Been tricked.
Yeah. Like,
But it's so true. See, because we're now also putting out um, content that's shown more of our personalities off, and because like you, for example, you're bringing in so many leads from your ads, you then can use the content you're putting out as more of a nurturing tool. Whereas people who aren't invested in ads, they're kind of forced to be a lot more salesy through their content, and more time than not, it's less productive. Do you know what I mean? Like you're probably going to get people with their guards up quicker compared to you just running ads and then posting the right content with the intent behind it
mm,
without having to, use too many sales techniques on videos, etc. Because what I've found is if you're using the right content and posting the right content, then that does a lot of the selling for you. And by the time you jump on call, it's really just a job of closing.
one thing that I think is pretty cool is I have, I mean, I'm not supposed to say this, but I will say it. I have an £11,000 deal on the way, which is about, I think, 15K USD. I've got a $15,000 deal on the way. And the reason this guy is wanting to roll with me is yes, it's a referral. So let's not get that twisted. But he told me that he's bought into me as a person because he's seeing me as a person on my personal brand. And that's the thing that he's buying. Like yes, he can get the result, but there's a whole bunch of people he can go to get the result. But what's differentiating me is who I am and the values I have as a person that I'm showing on my personal brand. And the thing is, like, that is super powerful, and I think that's something that people lack is like the authentic version of themselves, because there are people out there that will randomly just fall into your lap and offer literally whatever price you demand. And like sorry if this guy's watching this podcast, but Aaron, I don't know about you, but when this guy came through to me, I was literally on text to Aaron. I was like, should I just charge him 10K? Or should I just charge him 11K? Like that's just what that was my genuine thought process. And then I asked ChatGPT based off my current prices what I should actually be charging, and it came about to roughly the same amount. So realistically, I could probably have charged double, but let's be a little bit fair. Like 11K is a fair price for what I'm about to do for this guy.
Yeah, and again, it backs up the point that you are your best niche. Like the unique selling point of your business, the easiest one to find is yourself, especially if you're the person that's selling to leads. So definitely never lose that. And again, you would maybe not have got that. Obviously, it was a referral, but you would have maybe never got that potential sale if you were being super salesy on all your content and you didn't have that more nurturing personal side to your content. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. Like even when like we were going back and forth over DMs.
Yeah.
Also, by the way, crazy flex. When this deal closes for 11K, I'm going to say I closed it in the DMs. But I'm gonna like. I don't think people understand like when you again have this service mindset in your head. Like, what does this guy actually need? Can I
Yeah.
even give him the thing that he needs? And when you have this service mindset and you're like actually compensating and you're actually making valid points for the both of you, like you'll be surprised by how many people don't just run away with the information they gave you, like that you've given them. Obviously, like there's a couple of things like sales stuff that you need to be doing, but like
Yeah.
99% of the time, like just be genuine, and you'll
100%.
have people that really want to work with you, and they'll pay literally whatever price you demand.
You literally took the words out of my mouth there. Being genuine, see, not having crazy ulterior motives. Like a lot, like when I originally jumped on call for mentors, I probably went through five originally, and then I actually stopped looking for a while because the five I jumped on with were not being authentic. Like I'm very good at seeing through a lot of the bullshit when people are on sales calls, and it was very much so like telling you exactly what you need to hear sales wise just to close the sale, and it just felt very like very scripted and like orientated just around money. Whereas, like for example, when me and you first got in contact, it wasn't even a sales call, but
Yeah,
because of
it's so
just like
funny.
the way we were just speaking, bro, and just like I genuinely liked you. I was like, I, I want to give this guy my money. Do you know what I mean? Like it works. Like like that. Honestly,
That's
has that
so funny,
have I been the easiest sale you've ever closed?
bro. Bro, this like
Yes.
it was so funny. Like Aaron hit me up in DMs. He's like, "Yo, like he was
The
asking
ad.
for help, and I said, "Yo, do you want to do a consultancy call?" He goes, "Yeah." I said, "It's £100." He just sent me £100 over DM, like Stripe link. We got on call, and then I closed him for like I think at the time it was like what 1K or something. And I was like, "What the hell, bro?" It's like the
Yeah,
easiest close I had because I was like, I'm pretty sure on the call itself, I said to Aaron, I was like, "Yeah, it's 996 or like 1K." He was like, "Yeah, done," and I was like, "Oh, I didn't even expect that."
yeah. You didn't even know what to say. You didn't even.
I was like, "Okay."
I remember you were like, "Oh, I'll send it over then," like as if I was like not being serious. But again, it just shows you that like, and that just leads with again you being authentic through your content because you attract the people that you should be attracting. If you're putting a persona on, you're not even going to attract the people that you even want to work with. And that this is something that I'm getting very big on now is I'm being more picky with who I work with because for lack of a better word, I don't want to be dealing with people who are pussies in business and stuff. And genuinely like you want to be working like there's reasons why that I was looking at Eddie Maloof the other day, owner of Bad Marketing, very renowned guy within marketing. And he's got a
Yep.
20K minimum of who he works with. Like you need to be making 20K per month. And in my head I was like, it just makes so much sense because all there's going to be at that level of business and higher is just straight action. There's no time wasters. There's no there's no bullshit. It's just straight like they'll listen to what he's saying, they'll implement it, and he's getting everyone create like millions and millions and millions of pounds of revenue extra through the marketing. And yeah, I've went on a bit of a tangent there, but it just shows you that that like when you are working with the right people and you've got your standards set with who you work with, you can charge so much more, and the results you get are so much better. Like this is why I say to PTs and online coaches, you need to stop working with everyone short term, take the small hit, and then work with your ideal client more time. It's the younger version of themselves, but let's say you get three amazing transformations now, that could bring you in with the right content behind it, the right ads, that could bring you in 10, 15, 20 clients off the back of it. And that's all through the social proof of a good client. If you're putting out a social proof that's mediocre, it's not that good, it'll probably drive people away. So it's so key to work with your crucial, your key avatar.
Bro, 100%. I think like with me as well. I think like I've got it nailed down. Like my key avatars are either agency owners or coaches and consultants. But I can work with anyone that is high ticket because, bro, high ticket people are so much easier to scale. Like it's
Literally.
so easy. Like if you simply have something you charge a few thousand for, holy crap, bro, I could take that to the moon. Like it's just so simple. But
Literally.
it's only because like I think maybe because I find it the reason I find it simple is because I have done it a few times and it's like it's just simple for me. But I don't know, like with me I don't get how, I mean I guess it's just pussies in business. Like, I don't get how people start business and I mean I say I don't get it, this was me like a few years ago, but I don't get how for like a long period of time you can just charge like $100 and have to deal with clients that don't take you seriously, don't booking calls with you or anything like
Bro,
that.
like these are the clients that end up showing you the least amount of respect as well. Like I had someone who's potentially dropped off the other day, and he literally like not to sound arrogant in any sort of way, but he probably wouldn't be in business if it wasn't through working with McCulloch Marketing at that point because he had one or two clients and he's now sitting at just under 30 or a few have dropped off now, but still way over 20. And it's I think because with him, I've kept the original price so low, it makes it seem almost like an optional service. And I've only done that because he's been with me for a long period of time. But what I found with people who buy on the higher ticket, they see it as much more of a priority because they've already taken the commitment to invest within it, if that makes sense. Whereas people who are charging, 100 to like 350, 400, even 500 a month, like it becomes a very exposable thing that you've got. Do you know what I mean? That can be thrown away very quick almost.
Yeah, bro. Like the people that pay the most money pay attention, and that is genuinely why I'm going to increase my price again. The people I'm speaking to now, my clients now, great. However, I have noticed the people that have paid absolute fuck all have are the worst clients, the biggest headaches, and
Yeah.
it's insane because it's like the people that are the type of people that drop 10k, 11k, 12k, 15, 20k on a program. Those guys don't say a word. They're like, yeah, here's the money. Let me just get to work. Whereas the
Yeah.
people that are paying like 50, they're like, okay, so for this 50, what do I get? Like, what guarantee do you have? Like, bro, shut up. Like, just
Oh,
shut up, bro. Like, you're not getting a guarantee. Like, you're pissing me off. But oh, it's jarring,
but
bro.
it's like
It's
that's why people like that don't have a business now. Obviously, everyone needs to start at some stage where they've not got a business and they're still building up, etc. But it's like a lot of these people that are stuck at that level, it's because of their own doing essentially and their own lack of action. So it's like you can show someone how to make £1 million, but will they put the work in to go and do it? Most people won't, and that's what you find out with lower ticket. That's why dealing with those higher ticket people, they're already business wise like an echelon above because they've got that money there. They've already got their business to a point where most people haven't, or where a lot of people struggle. So to some degree they're already a doer, someone who's like invested.
I've got a question for you. This is how do you someone who's a complete beginner, right? Complete beginner, know nothing about business. How do you explain to them what ads are? Because I thought that was pretty simple, but I was in Nando's in Sheffield, right? And someone asked me, "Bro, what do you even do?" And I said, "I run ads. That's how I get clients." And he goes, "Yeah, but what does running ads mean?" And I had to put my knife and fork down. I had my half chicken with peri salted chips and mash, doubled up on carbs back in the day before I got fat.
Okay.
And I was like, yeah, I was bulking before, like actually bulking though. And I
Yeah.
put everything down. I had to just like hold my head in my hands, and I was like, why? Like, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean? What does running ads mean? But
Oh.
maybe I'm just being an asshole. Like, what? How would you explain to a beginner what running ads are?
Yeah, people overcomplicate it. As I've said in previous episodes, me and you were even speaking about it when I've spoke to my mum, and she's been like, "So what is an ad?" And it's like people overcomplicate it to this big thing. It's like you see ads probably more than you see any other type of content potentially. You see ads when you're on the side of a bus. You see ads when you're watching YouTube. You see ads when you're scrolling on Instagram, and all it is some sort of creative that's there to sell to you. That's all it is. That's literally all it is, and it either leads you to the product, it leads you to a website, or it leads you to a page where you buy essentially. So it's like that's all it's really going to do. And again, people overcomplicate it to being this huge crazy thing. Maybe it's because of the back end stuff and how that is a bit more complicated with who you're targeting, your lead lists, all that kind of stuff. But the actual like what people see of an ad, it's not complicated at all.
Nah, like I think the easiest way to put it is like all an advertisement is a video showing you something to
Yeah,
why you should buy. Like that's all it is. Like it's when you watch TV and in between your favorite episodes, there's an ad that plays. That is what we do. Like we make sure your ad goes to the exact people that will buy from you or listen to your music or whatever it is, rather than going to a random person. And before someone says to me like, "Yeah, but ads don't work," like shut up. They work. Like what's the alternative? You're gonna put up a billboard and pay thousands and thousands of pounds only to have people to not give a shit about anything that's on that billboard. Because in reality, when was the last time you bought from a billboard? Probably never, bro. You know.
yeah,
But like, if you have like an ad running, like you're not gonna buy straight away because you never do. But what happens is over time, over time, over time, you start warming up to that thing to eventually buy the thing. You know.
yeah. And like people that say ads don't work, why is our whole industry propped up on the back of ads? Why, for music artists, for example, why does the number one artist in the UK Central C run ads on a consistent basis? I can't actually get away from them. Why is that the case? Because they work. Why are big labels putting millions and millions and millions of pounds into YouTube ads, meta ads, and even billboard ads? Because all of it is getting attention, and attention is something that you can then garner money from. And that is, it's as simple as that. So for people who don't believe in it, it's really, you've either learned the wrong ad strategy or you just don't know what you're talking about.
Bro, facts. Like, I think I think the question you should ask is, why aren't ads working for me? Or a better question actually is,
Yeah,
why can't I make ads work? Like, because there's something wrong with you if you can't make them work. To be completely honest.
exactly. Like, again, this is something that a lot of people do, and they'll associate if something doesn't work for them, that that doesn't work. And it's like, no, this is something I learned within business. Everything's always your fault, and by you I mean me. Like, everything's always my fault in my business. Even if something happens that's completely unrelated to me, it's my fault in some sort of way. And that is, it's such a good way to deal with situations like that, because like you can never blame the ads or the content doesn't get me leads. No, your content doesn't get you leads. Your ads don't get you leads. Do you know, like, come to us.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I think that's a decent place to leave this off,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah, that is so. Yes, everyone, if you want to give us a like, share, obviously it really helps us out. Profit Philosophy on Instagram, um, Rambo content on Instagram, Aaron McCulloch on Instagram. Get our handles. And yes, people, have a good week. We'll see you next Sunday.